Have you ever, you guys, you're not familiar with Zach Amico, are you?
Not really, no.
I really wasn't either. But I became familiar because this clip is going around about Zach Amico's Morning Zoo, which is a podcast on Gas Digital, which is like Big J. Okerson, Louis J. Gomez, Robert Kelly, Dan Soder, all those comedians have shows
those are
on
big
there.
Shows, too.
And they do shows with each other, and they do shows separately, and they're doing very well. And they started Skankfest, which is a big Skankfest. It's gotten huge. So Zach, in fact, I believe he's a stand-up and he's performed there too. I just wasn't really familiar with him, but he started this morning. He's trying to do a morning show podcast, which I'm amazed more people haven't tried to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it seem strange that you wouldn't have somebody, especially, I would think somebody would be doing 4 days a week live in the morning.
Some of them exist on YouTube, but yeah, nothing with any edge. I think one of that big YouTube shows is those two guys, Link and whatever. That they do a morning show.
They do, okay.
But it's not really something we'd be into.
Probably not. Zach has a lot of comedian guests, though, and comedians are not always great guests, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, do you have comedians on? And we've always had, over the years, comedy clubs in Phoenix. We had one where, they wanted us to have the headliner on every week to promote the club. And they thought, it'd be great for you too, because they're all good. But not all comedians are great radio. They really aren't. And that's what happens to Zach Amico. He has a couple comedians on, including Akeem Woods, who is a black comedian who is gay. And there's a part that we're not going to play that sort of is right in front of what you're going to hear, where they're talking about the Diddy trial. And this must be right before the trial started, because they're still talking about picking jurors. And Akeem Woods keeps saying, and by the way, you're supposed to be making this fun and funny, but he keeps talking about how Diddy gets a jury of his peers. They have to choose black people. And I think Zach and the other guest are kind of confused. Like, what does he mean? And the other guy says, well, they could pick all Vietnamese people. And he's like, no, they can't do that, because they have to get a jury of his peers, which means black people. And Zach Amico, who's hosting the show, says, wow, if all black people on trial need all black juries, they'll run out of black people, which is pretty funny. And there's some laughter.
Yeah. And
this Akeem guy says something about systemic racism. And it's like, dude, he just made a good joke. Can you have some fun? So then the subject changes. They're talking about movies. And while I acknowledge that I'm far from the person that remembers everything about a movie or who's in every movie, but this guy, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but you're going to hear what he doesn't know that surprises everyone.
One of the possible people that might be calling this trial, Canadian legend, actor, comedian, Mike Myers.
No.
Has been named as a potential witness in the Diddy trial. I don't know how they even met. Did he work on Austin?
Mike Myers.
Austin Powers, baby.
Oh, really? The guy who plays Austin Powers?
You know who Mike Myers is from SNL?
I'm not good with names.
Yeah, but that's a name you got to be good with. It's Mike fucking Myers.
That's crazy, dude.
It's the best comic voice of a generation.
Yeah, for white people's generation.
No, that's not a white-black thing. That's Mike Myers.
No idea who he is.
The guy Kanye was standing next to when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people.
It's Mike Myers.
Okay,
No. This isn't like
no. This is. I will say.
Poll.
No, I will say.
I know who. I've watched Austin Powers. If you had a gun to me, it's like, who's the actor's name? I wouldn't have said Mike Myers. I don't know the nigga's name.
That's fine, but he is a legend.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying I don't know his
remember bringing
name.
in Wayne's World my senior year of high school to watch something in class. And every black kid looked at it like I put on the fucking Zapruder film. Like, they had no idea. I remember a guy standing up in the first 10 minutes of Wayne's World and being, yo, I got Scary Movie 4 on DVD right now.
Yeah. But that's the thing that I don't think
Zach's trying to bail him out.
Yeah, he's trying to make it funny, right?
Just like he did with the joke about, if all black people need an all black jury, they'd run out of black people. And, which is what you're supposed to do. I mean, try to keep it funny. And this guy is just like, who's that? And then he's arguing like, if you're a comedian,
you should know who Mike Myers
he's not
is.
That young. I don't know. Do you know how old he is, perchance?
He looks like he's in his late 30s. But
that's what I was going to guess. I would think there's no way a comedian would not know Mike Myers. Now, an average black guy, and it reminded me of something really funny, too. In 77, 78, my freshman year in college, in the jock dorm, naturally the pot smokers all found each other, and the black football players were big pot smokers, as were the basketball players. So I knew a lot of those guys and smoked with them. And one day we were talking about, it was actually I wasn't the only white guy there, but we were talking about Elton John, and I think somebody asked him if he liked Elton John. And this guy's like, "Who's Elton John?" This is 1977. Elton John is like in overdrive. He's had number one after number one after number one. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, The Bitch Is Back, Tumbleweed Connection. All those great albums were around then. Captain Fantastic, and we were like, "What?" Elton John, we were like really surprised, and so the other black guys there were all laughing their asses off, and I thought, I thought they were laughing at him. By the way, we called him Doo-Doo. That was his nickname, Doo-Doo. Doo-Doo says, "Oh, come on, man, that's a white thing." Like, Elton John's a white thing, and it's like, really? Because with music, if I like music, I could care less who's doing it. I know Chris Brown. I'm not really going to try to like Chris Brown because he sounds like such an asshole. It's not
It's not my style of music either.
Not really, no. Yeah. It's easy for me not to like him. But Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, there's a lot of black musicians that I love. They're not really in my wheelhouse, but I've come to have great respect for them. Or Stevie Wonder, or a number of people. But anyway, I just thought, God, at the peak of Elton John. So anyway, when they stopped laughing, I thought they were laughing at him, and then it turned out they were laughing at me because they were like, "You thought he was going to know who Elton John is?" Because he was very. I mean, it was one of these things where he really didn't want to know who Elton John is, and if he did know him, he wasn't really probably going to admit it anyway.
I think that's worse that he didn't know who Elton John was in 1970. What did you say?
He was 77, 78.
And then Akeem Woods not knowing who Mike Myers is in 2025.
Definitely. Elton John was
especially because
everywhere.
Entertainment's so much more fractured now too. But
yeah, absolutely.
But still, he is a stand-up comic. Granted, he's black and gay, but he should know who Mike Myers is.
Well, he's got a real attitude about it too. He's an asshole about it, as you'll see, because he's not
a comic. Laugh at it. I don't know.
Make a joke about
big.
it.
I have no idea who he is.
And by the way, there's a fantastic reference. And he was the guy standing next to Kanye West when he said George Bush doesn't like black people. Well, anyway, I was really intrigued by that whole thing about that's a white thing, because I have always been.
I don't think Mike Myers is, though.
No, I don't either. I think anybody could find that movie funny. That's like saying Dave Chappelle's a black thing.
Exactly, yeah. Or Eddie Murphy, yeah.
I never understood, and I think this is true, if you look at Jimi Hendrix crowds in the 60s or 70, and I think he was pro-life for 71, maybe a few months, or did he die in 70 or 71? I think it's 71. Anyway, black people never really. I mean, he's not revered in the black community, is he? Isn't Jimi Hendrix isn't he kind of a white thing? Because he's a guitarist?
Probably. I mean, it's more about the genre, I would think. Although I was watching Amazing Race, and the worst person on this season is a black guy, and he's like, "I play guitar, and when I learned how to play guitar, I learned all the classical black guitars, like Jimi Hendrix." And I'm sitting there going, and who else?
Nigel Rodgers.
No, I know, but he just said Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, you named one? You said all of them? So I think it just depends what you're into, but I hate. I mean, it sounds stupid, but I hate it when people label it. Is Wu-Tang a black thing? Because I know a lot of white people that love Wu-Tang.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, hip-hop and rap, if you look at audiences at those shows, they're very mixed.
That's because there's more of us.
Well, but we're open to it. We're open to liking it. And I'm not a big fan, but a lot of people are. And they go and they play it, they buy it, they stream it. But this guy, he's really trying to get out of this.
I'll give a better example for him. What about Def Comedy Jam? Because my friends and I used to watch Def Comedy Jam all the time. I mean, I know who Shucky Ducky is just because it was big back then. That would have been around the same time as Mike Myers.
He's trying to he's almost making them sound like assholes for bringing up a white thing.
Yeah, but he's not.
No, he's a comedian, though. So anyway, it turns out that he doesn't know a lot of shit as we continue.
Excellent.
Sometimes people don't realize it's like, just because your stuff is mainstream doesn't mean we have to know about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, like, if you show me a picture, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Austin Powers. I don't know his name. But like, y'all stuff is the default, so you just assume that everyone has to know the default. But in actuality,
so they're racist, kind of.
I don't think SNL is a white thing.
I don't think SNL is. But I think Austin Powers is a big thing. I don't know his name though. I knew who he was. I'm like, yo, that's the dude who plays Austin Powers. But I guarantee you, a lot of people don't know that his name. They're like, oh, nigga, that's Austin Powers. That's what they would say.
No,
if
you're wrong.
if you went to Baltimore and walked around the hood and saw a picture of him, most people would be like, oh, that's Austin Powers. They're not gonna be like, oh, that's Mike Myers.
He's pretty famous.
He's pretty, as far as our
Pause
generation.
it for a sec.
That-
He might have a point, especially with the way Mike
If you
Myers
walk around Baltimore, maybe downtown.
especially with how Mike Myers looks today. But once again, you're a stand-up comic that works in
Exactly.
the world of comedy.
No,
you should know.
You should
who
be
he
a
is.
student of Mike
Yes.
Myers and all of the people that drew during that period. He's one of the biggest and one of the best.
That's a weak excuse. And boy, you can tell he's pissed off.
No, he is. No, he's really bringing
Nice.
the whole thing down. The only thing that's saving it is Zach is kind of making light of it, and he's doing a good job. And I actually was impressed because Zach eventually loses his patience, and that's the best part. But anyway, continue because this is going to blow your mind.
That's a really famous
I'm not
dude.
saying he's not famous. I'm just saying I didn't know his name.
Okay.
Fair enough. That's
fair.
surprising.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know.
I only bring up the SNL because he was part of like what I think our generation would consider like good SNL.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch SNL back then, so I didn't see SNL.
okay.
I get it.
Well,
Dude,
nice.
how fucked up must have the set
Great
of Get
comedian.
Him to the Greek been?
What was Get Him to the Greek about? I never saw it.
It's like he had to get a rock star to his big show.
Yeah, he had to get a rock star to his big show. Jason Segel hanging dong, very nice piece in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
And did P. Diddy just play himself?
I think he was the guy who owned the record company
Oh, okay.
that Russell Brand's band was
Yeah, I
playing
never saw
for.
it. Wait, who you said have a nice dick in what movie?
Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah
Check it
Marshall.
out. Check it out.
Oh, you see his dick?
Yeah, he drops
check it
his
out.
towel. It's fucking.
It's one of the best. That's why you get top tier romantic
Pause your
comedy.
What was that movie about?
Nice that a dick comes up. Well, I'm gay. What's that? Where's that big dick?
No, he's so into it.
Like, I mean, could you be a little more self-centered about your interests, for Christ's sake? I mean, Get Him to the Greek. Doesn't that seem like, I don't know, isn't that a pretty big movie if you're that
I
age?
think Forgetting Sarah Marshall's even bigger.
And he is a comedian, too. I mean, that makes him bigger. But at this point, I would not be bringing up that I don't know any of this shit. I would just shut the fuck up.
He's probably digging into that whole white culture thing.
Yeah, no, I think he's
that
trying
take.
to act like, boy, it'd be nice if you guys to talk about something a black person would find interest in. I mean,
Well, then they should bring up Norbit.
Hey, I'd love to talk about Norbit all day.
It would be interesting if they brought up like Norbit to see if he's seen that, because that's kind of from the same time period, right?
I have a feeling this guy doesn't really give a
or Nutty
shit
Professor.
about anyone but himself. I think he just
Yeah.
he lives in his own little comedy zone. I don't even know how good a comedian is. I'm going to find out
By
after
the
the
way,
show.
I heard an interview with Jason Segel recently about because he wrote Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Uh-huh.
He wrote that movie and they had filmed it within a year. That's how quick he wrote it, and almost all of it is from his real life, including the nude breakup scene. And him telling the story of the real nude breakup scene is far better than what's in the movie. It's so great.
I keep thinking, like, aren't we due
was
for a
on Conan.
Jason Segel movie that I should want to see? Because I can't think of a movie of his. Has he done something
Jason
lately?
Segel?
He's doing that
Not much, right?
psychiatrist movie on one of those streaming services.
Shrinking on Apple TV Plus, which is I really like it. I
Oh,
think
was it
it's really-
good?
I think it's great. Yeah,
cool.
And Harrison Ford's in it.
Oh, wow.
Harrison Ford plays a really grumpy old guy, but I don't know. It's done by the guys that did Ted Lasso.
Okay, well, if Jason Segel's in it, I'm interested right off the bat. And I haven't seen Harrison Ford and stuff for a while. But anyway, let's keep this debacle going. It doesn't last forever. It's just got a couple more minutes.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah. She had amnesia or something?
No, that's 50 First Dates.
Oh, okay. Well,
You've seen movies, right?
yeah, just not a lot.
Kevin Smith mentions that Affleck said that Jason Mewes is like 2 pumps away from fully hard
In the
movie. Like he's definitely.
He fluffed as much as possible.
I think he is like chubbed to the point of
Who's
like
Jason Mewes?
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Wow.
He'll be at Skankfest this year. If anybody
Who?
Really?
wants to see that beautiful piece in real life,
You might get a chance to suck it.
Who's in Skankfest? That dude?
Jason Mewes, the human being we're talking about.
Oh, his dick is going to be in Skankfest.
Yes. Kelsey Grammar reveals harrowing truth of teenage sister's murder. She crawled to a neighbor for help only to be ignored. Let's find out about Sideshow Bob's traumatic past.
Wait, is he out of jail?
Kelsey Grammar?
Was he in jail?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Why would Kelsey Grammar be in jail?
Wait, was she saying? So she's saying that her dead sister. Wait, I'm confused. What happened?
Oh my God.
Are you here?
I guess not. What? So what?
Do you know who Kelsey Grammar is?
No.
I wonder what's the most famous celebrity we can name that you don't know.
That's a good idea.
You never
Do
heard of Frasier. Cheers.
Yes, I know those shows. I don't watch them.
I literally said Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, but Mike
The
Myers is
Simpsons.
bigger.
Yeah, I know.
Mike Myers is bigger than Kelsey Grammer.
I know who Mike Myers is. I don't know his name. So if you put me a
Then you
picture
don't know.
of
Stop defending
I
yourself.
don't know who he
Kelsey
is.
Grammar, I might know who that is.
Beast from X-Men.
Don't. Now
What?
we're getting deep.
I know
No,
X-Men.
it's not. He's Frasier!
Oh,
That's what we've been fucking talking about the whole time!
So his-
Are you out of your fucking gourd?
so his sister.
You're driving me fucking nuts!
So his sister
Are
died.
you? Yes!
Oh, okay.
Holy shit, man!
I thought Kelsey Grammer was a country singer.
Oh my God.
That makes sense,
that a
but
joke?
holy shit, dude!
I thought it was a white country singer that I didn't know.
There's a
about. Some
difference
woman.
between I'm black and I haven't seen the show, and I'm not listening when people are fucking talking.
I don't know who that is.
Amen.
The guy from Frasier!
Okay, I didn't watch that.
I don't give a fuck! I said it 85 fucking times!
Okay, so he's the guy from Frasier, and his sister got killed.
Yes, that is the discussion we're
Wow.
currently
Okay,
having.
and he's saying his dead sister helped him write his book.
Yes.
Okay, good for him.
So wait, what is Kelsey Grammer from?
Wait,
You know, I would say if you're going on a show involving any kind of pop culture, that's probably not a show you should go on.
Yep.
And honestly, after the first go around with Mike Myers, just shut up. If you don't know what's going on, just shut up. Those guys are both pretty funny. Anyway, I thought that was a great clip, and I really wasn't too familiar with Zach, but I think he sounds like he might be worth checking out.